Hey, listen, everyone here is on cocaine and meth right now. If you don't drink that energy drink, they're gonna think you're on drugs.
This is some Jordan Belfort shit. Hey, this is Aaron,
And this is Scott.
and this is the Work is Not Safe podcast, where we explore your not safe for work stories and am I the asshole ethical dilemmas. Enjoy the show. So I have an interesting fact to start us off with. Did you know that in Germany, Belgium, and Portugal, it's illegal for managers to contact employees after hours?
No.
That is a great law, and I think it needs to be put in effect everywhere.
It would never work in America. There would be
Yeah.
some like fucking super crazy capitalist dude that's like, yeah, actually, we beta tested this last year, and it turns out that the employees do a lot worse when we don't contact them after
Yeah, I'd
hours.
be like, show me the data. Show me the data, please. But
Once
that
once-
is going to lead right into our topic.
Once you give them minds to start thinking, I mean, where do you stop?
Oh my god, it's
Yeah,
the
today's-
work from home argument all over again.
Today's topic is an exciting one because every listener has one story about a boss that you fucking hated. I have a lot of stories about bosses that I hated, and maybe that is something about me as a worker, or maybe that is something about the climate of being, a blue or white collar worker in the U.S. And I wanted to share a quick story about my time as an SDR. So on the last podcast, we were talking about sales, right? And the crazy shit that happens in the sales world. And a lot of times you get your start in sales as a business development rep or as a sales development rep. So BDR or SDR. And there's these guys, and I'm not like knocking the SDR manager title or BDR manager title.
Sounds like
But-
you're about to, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I'm about to knock these motherfuckers. No, I'm kidding. But not really. So I was an SDR for a software company, and the software company sold educational software for recruiting and for hiring and for absenteeism, stuff like that. So I worked at this company, and I had this manager, and this is, I shit you not, this guy literally had like the social skills of a fucking mute, like super shy, would never say anything. But then it was almost like he forced himself to be a normal human being. Like, you remember the aliens from Men in Black where they're driving the human like suit and they like rip the guy's head off or whatever, and it's like they're like sitting there like, and then the guy's like, yeah, fucking, I knew it was you guys. This is one of those situations. This dude literally would just come up to us randomly and be like, how's it going, guys? Or like,
Oh my god.
we were like, guys, hit the fucking phones today and we'll be out by 3 p.m. doing happy hour at PJ's down the street. And we're like, oh, you have to fake it because you're an SDR. You're new in the role. You're like, yeah, that sounds awesome, blank. And there was this one time we're all getting coffee in the morning. We're at the Keurig machine. Everybody knows like the Keurig machine in the morning, nobody really wants to get coffee from a Keurig. And when you do, it's like, it makes that annoying sound. It's like, so nobody's saying anything. We're all just sitting around and listening to this. And he breaks the silence and he goes, by the way, backstory, there's a female SDR on our team. This becomes important in 2 seconds here. He goes, hey, Ashley, have you ever been spanked?
What?
Yeah, dude. So I can't really say that he was a horrible boss. I mean, to me, but definitely to Ashley. He was like the fucking.
Wait,
It was just,
that's
it came out of
This is
nowhere.
an HR complaint, though. Come on.
You know what's crazy? He said, so it was an HR complaint, and apparently what he said to defend himself was like, oh yeah, well, I was just trying to build rapport with my team. And
Yeah.
then it became like a running joke on the SDR team. It was like, hey, you guys know that Bob got spanked? Bob, the manager, got spanked. He's just trying to relate to team members that have also been spanked before.
Oh my God. That's
Uh,
terrifying. What do you do in that situation? Because you're just
she
fucked.
literally was like, um, I I I don't feel I know, but I also don't feel comfortable talking about this at work. And he was like, "Oh yeah, no, that's cool." He just drove on. He was like, "I think your coffee's done."
Was this like a poor attempt at hitting on her? Like like
No, he had a wife, and I mean, yeah,
that doesn't
obviously.
mean shit.
I was gonna say, as we learned last week, it doesn't mean shit if you have a wife in sales, but yeah, it was just one of those crazy things. I just there are some stories about bosses that are, fucking crazy to me. And it runs the gamut from, like, most of them will be from when you started your career, but it's always astounding to me ones where it's someone in like senior leadership. So with that being said, I want your blessing, Aaron. Let's get this started.
Yeah, read it.
All
Get
right,
into the stories, baby.
here we go. At my last job at a marketing company, our president and owner went on an hour-long tirade to a client, basically calling them stupid, ungrateful idiots, along with a bunch of swears. It started because the client, a dentist,
Oh my
presented my. I don't know why that's funny. I think it's an honorable profession to be a dentist. Did you know that being a dentist, it actually has the highest suicide rate? Fun fact for you. Well, maybe not so fun, but for this podcast, it's, you know, presented my boss with some cool ideas that came from her receptionist. Just the standard advertising suggestions, bench signs, radio ads, and the layperson would know, but nothing so bad that someone deserves to get ridiculed and harassed over.
So to all the listeners who are in marketing, I'm sorry, but I'm about to like the independent marketing firms, those really small ones. I swear, all the owners act that way. They act like they're the smartest fucking people on earth. I've seen it firsthand, unfortunately.
I, you know, I really do believe in marketing, and
Well,
I know that
I'm
it's.
not a
I know,
no marketing person. That's also a whole nother
yeah,
thing.
it's
I
you
have like a
represent both sides.
company that's a marketing company that uses hashtag no marketing all the time. I'm like, you're a fucking marketing company. What are you talking
I
about?
mentioned this the other day, though. Like, modern marketing is just being like as like against the grain as possible. Like, oh, we don't, we're anti blah blah blah, whatever your industry is, and that's like all modern marketing is. Iterate that and just continue that strategy for every single one of your
We're
products.
about to get roasted in the chat. We know nothing.
You guys are part of the cog of current work.
It's true.
Oh man, this one starts out. My story is pretty tame. Well, we'll be the judge of that. I work at a museum. The board president basically cussed me out on the phone before a big seasonal event. She was saying that she heard from other people that I was not giving 100% dedication to my job.
Oh my god.
Sorry, who the fuck is like, yeah, I heard she's only given 98%.
Yeah, like how would they know?
Whoa, shit, that I needed to step up my game or face serious consequences.
We're gonna put you on a pip.
At the museum. You know what happens? We're going to demote you to janitor. Everyone was pretty stressed due to the event, and I was pretty pissed. I emailed her after the conversation because it came completely out of left field. I'd never had anyone complain about how I did or my job. Tourists, the executive director, or even the president and the rest of the executive board. No one had complained before. So I asked her who did it and who had that problem. It turns out no one had said a word to her about the job I was doing. She hadn't heard from anyone. She just listed a bunch of her own grievances about what I was doing.
Oh, I
These
hate
are she
those.
cites some of the stuff that she was doing: wearing a costume to work on Halloween, not labeling some artifact she had brought in that had zero historical value, keeping my bike out of sight in the office, trivial shit. I told her that she could just tell me that she was unhappy with these things as they happened, especially seeing as I was never told not to do these things, rather than cuss me out on the phone months later.
Oh my, that is the quintessential bad boss. Like,
Oh yeah.
doesn't say shit about shit, and then comes out of nowhere and is like, "You're a piece of garbage." Like,
So she said, I lost a lot of respect for her that day, but I was still employed, so I counted my blessings.
fuck
I also
counting your
found out.
damn blessings. Fuck companies, dude. Like, don't count your blessings. Don't be one of those people that when they
You're,
hire you, you go on
Aaron.
LinkedIn, you're like, I'm so thankful for this job. I, this was a great experience. No, fuck you. They just took your fucking livelihood out of your pocket. Don't be thankful for them.
I'm currently searching for my next venture after an unfortunate layoff where they deleted my job overnight.
Yeah, like, fuck those companies, dude. Don't
uh,
apologize for getting
okay.
fired.
I lost a lot of respect for her that day, but I was still employed, so I counted my blessings. And I also found out that the executive director and the president were paying me $1.25 less than they agreed to when I
Oh
first
no.
got the job. They gave me a job description with the original pay listed on it, and that is what I was thinking would be my pay. Naively, I didn't make a copy of it, and when I started the job, my paycheck was much less than what I thought it would be. I was given another job description with the lower pay on it. I didn't make a fuss because I was hard up for money and needed the job. Plus, the museum was kind of doing some shady shit. Additionally, I was an idiot who had no backbone at the time. Anyway,
Hey, I
my
won't fault you for, like, if you're like in that grind and you don't have, money coming in. I get
yeah,
that. I do get that, but
you got to pimp, and sometimes you got to know when you're getting pimped.
that's true, dude. And the companies will pimp you.
Yeah, and additionally, I was an idiot who had no backbone at the time. I don't think that you were an idiot. I think you were just playing. You were just playing the role of
Yeah,
getting
so
pimped.
and sometimes you gotta make that mistake to know how to see that it's happening to you. So now you know.
This is how you get vindicated. This is the end of it. My boss and the entire executive board stepped down from their positions. After a year, I found my original job description with the original pay. Needless to say, I'm now getting paid what I was supposed to pay plus back pay. Oh, hell yeah.
Ooh, big
That's
check.
that's that's such a good ending to that.
Ching.
And that almost like never happens. The only way that would happen is if you worked at a fucking museum. I don't know what like how, how museums work or anything like that, but I can't imagine like what are the stressors that museums face. I shouldn't say that. They probably
I'm
have a
sure they
lot of
have like a
shit.
rush. It's
Yeah,
probably, yeah, but
and like
it seems like it would be a
funding.
pretty chill gig unless somebody like messes with a piece of
What
artwork
was
or like,
what was your boss bringing in that was not considered artifacts that you were just throwing away?
oh my
You
god,
know, earlier in this
this
story.
is my family heirloom. It's like a
This is the
fucking
2018 Coca-Cola cap. It came off of.
they're bringing in like porcelain cat statues and shit.
This is a butterfly net that I got from the Dollar Tree before 9/11.
Yeah, it's historically
Yeah,
significant.
I
I guess.
did you have any family at night? No, it was $1 and it was before the it was like before the state tax, so you could literally get out of the store with it for just exactly $1.
Cool story.
All right. All right. I don't think that we're gonna. I mean, we might. We'll just put this in storage. How's that sound?
Yeah, it sounds about right. Bag it, tag it, and throw it in the garbage pail.
Wine them, dine them, 69 them, bag it, tag it, and throw it in the garbage pail. 2 rules for life.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, here we go. Sales. I used to work in high pressure sales. Once a
Oh,
week, the director would come in and get everyone energized. They brought in, or to get everyone
let's
mentioned
party.
energy. To get everyone energized, they would bring in Monster energy drinks. Okay, that's a little bit better than cocaine. So we're talking after the 80s. She'd leave them in her office for the salespeople to have. Now, I like the director. She was nice and professional. My manager, on the hand, was a piece of fucking shit dirtbag. Yes. I got tired of drinking. Yeah, right. I got tired of drinking energy drinks, so I decided, yeah, I mean, you get tired of that shit really quick. I decided not to participate this one week. My boss came to me and said, "You didn't get a Monster, you know. Wendy, let's call her Wendy, bought these for the entire division." I said I was aware of that, but I didn't want one. He came up to me and said, "Listen, go into that office and get one right now." I was so stunned that I didn't know what to do. I got up, grabbed a can, and walked back to my desk and just, left it sitting there. He came back and asked why I didn't drink it. I told him I didn't want to have one because my body doesn't do well with so much caffeine. He asked me to walk into his office. Oh, man. Is he going to ask this guy if you've been spanked?
Oh, fuck.
I see where this is going. Why does this happen so often? No, I wasn't the best at the job. In fact, I hated it. And he stated to me that due to my lack of energy, it's extremely distracting to him. Not to the team, but to him. And that it shows
you,
in my performance.
What?
Can you imagine being like,
hey,
here, like in a professional environment, walking over to somebody's desk and being like, I don't.
You sitting there silently not drinking that Monster is very distracting. Like, what? Get the fuck out of here.
I don't like your vibe, man. I don't like it. I don't know what's up with you, but I don't like it. I don't want any part of it. Why don't you come into my office? We'll talk about this. By the way, have you ever been spanked? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
Okay. And holy shit, he ended with, "If you keep this up, we may have to let you go." All I said to him was, "Okay, well, that's unfortunate, but I will not drink something that takes a toll on my body." Good for you, but I guarantee you're not in sales anymore. Just by the, "I will not drink something that takes a toll on my body." Lo and behold, I end up getting fired. I enjoyed 2 weeks. Okay, there we go. 2 weeks of unemployment until I got a call back from the same company. They wanted to hire me for a different position, not sales. No interview and higher pay. I took it and I loved it. I have since moved on to a better opportunity. Now my ex-boss, he ended up being terminated for drug use. All right, Aaron, what drugs do you think that he used?
100% crack cocaine. Not even not even pure.
It's two drugs.
Cocaine. He was on the bad shit.
Well, maybe he was white because it was cocaine and meth.
Oh, meth.
Actually had,
this guy even make it into work. He's like
he actually had the audacity to request me to be a friend on Facebook. I didn't accept, but I heard from prior sales coworkers that he was asking for money. I don't know. That sounds like sales to me.
Oh my god, dude. Fuck that guy, first off. That is absurd. How are you going to try to force somebody to drink something that's meant to be like like something nice from it? And it's not even, he didn't buy it and he's like, "Hey, can you just like take it? I got it for you."
He's like, "Hey,
not
listen,
even his thing, dude." Like, what the fuck?
Hey, listen, everyone here is on cocaine and meth right now. If you don't drink that energy drink, they're going to think you're on drugs.
This is some Jordan Belfort shit.
Yeah.
If you don't do the cocaine, you're out of this office.
How are you counterbalancing your cocaine and meth right now? Yeah,
Monster
boss. I'm not actually I'm not actually doing cocaine and meth. Oh, no wonder you suck at your job. Oh god. All right, we get a first name for this one. Jerry. Oh god, Jerry. Jerry wouldn't let me go to the emergency room after the heavy vaginal bleeding I had experienced suddenly got way worse.
Whoa.
I went over his head and got permission to go. I called my mom. All right, good move. Told her to meet me in the ER. The ER nurse said she'd never seen so much blood. And then there's a side note here. An ER nurse said this. It's determined that I need a couple of blood transfusions and will be admitted. My mom calls Jerry, who then proceeds to tell her that it's just stress, and I need to get back to work. At this point, I couldn't even lift my own head up. But sure, I can take a bus across town and get back to work. I ended up needing another hospital stay later for a D&C.
Oh fuck, that sucks.
Yeah. Um, they found a large growth that needed a biopsy. Jerry kept insisting that it couldn't be cancer because I'd be tired and losing weight.
What the fuck
Jerry.
is Jerry? Dude, who is this guy? Oh my
What?
god.
Side note: Jerry's an oncologist. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right.
There's no. I had lost 8 pounds in a week and went to bed the minute I got home. I was still recovering from the procedure when Jerry called me to let me know I was fired for taking too much time off. 5 days later, I was diagnosed with cancer. Fuck you, Jerry. Fuck you.
Dude, tell me, is there anything else after that?
Mm-mm.
Dude, I hope this woman that went through this traumatic experience went back to the company and was like, hey, your whatever this guy's level was fired me because I have fucking cancer. That is definitely like a lawsuit waiting to happen. HR would have flipped their fucking lid.
You know how some people crack beers like for people? I'm cracking a beer for OP, and I'm cracking a beer against Jerry. And I don't give a fuck. Oh, actually, against all Jerrys. This Jerry tainted Jerry's so much that all Jerrys suck
Yeah, I
now.
can no longer respect any Jerry's ever in my life. Oh, that was a big crack.
It had to be. Fuck Jerry, man. Fuck you, Jerry. Fuck you. You
Yeah,
know,
it's bad.
I think in situations like that too, it's like you have to weight shit, right? Like, this is my life compared to this job. And
It sounds like she did
whether
that.
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. She did
Yeah.
that. But at some point as a manager, there's a threshold that you cross where you're like, I have to actually be compassionate about, like, let's say in the worst case scenario that this person is faking that they have cancer. I would much rather the situation that as a manager, I got duped by somebody faking they had cancer than like falsely accuse somebody
Yeah.
of
You have
faking
to
cancer.
you have to assume you're getting like good intent from your subordinates unless they've cried wolf or something.
This is
But
what I
she
love
has a
about the
fucking
work world
doctor's
today.
like she went to the ER. She had, I'm sure, tons of paperwork, all these tests. Like, fuck that guy and fuck that company for letting him do it. I'm on one today. Fuck these companies.
No, it's a real thing because in the modern workplace, what we see is you're watching like a war being waged. I'm going to sound so crazy for saying this shit, but a
Oh
war
god.
being waged between people that are just being pragmatic and realistic about work. Today, like 2 years ago, there was a fucking pandemic. Well, there still is a pandemic. It's just not in America. We're not. It's becoming. I think the word is endemic, where it's like seasonal. And all of our jobs became remote, and then you saw this giant thing where it was like there are essential jobs versus non-essential jobs, like non-essential workers. Life has changed, and people that approach it the same way because they're just like stuck in their convictions as like, well, my manager told me that I have to sit at this desk for 8 hours and take a 30-minute lunch, and that's the way that it has to be. If I can't do that and I can't teach the people below me to do that, then it's wrong. That is gradually becoming an idea that it's ridiculous. Like, most jobs you can get done your work very, very quickly, and the time allotments for your work are independent of the normal business hours. 9 to 5 doesn't even fucking make sense anymore for a lot of businesses.
It doesn't. And there's so many
Like, we're a global business. Okay, well, I'm 9 to 5. Okay, well, how do we plan around that? Well, there really isn't a way to plan around that.
yeah, I don't know, man. That the whole like RTO stuff, return to office stuff. I just don't get it when companies have the data that shows they were more productive. like their employees were more productive. And then they're like, you know what? Fuck it. We have this giant office space we're paying for, so you have to come back. So you want
Yeah.
reduced productivity and to hold on to some crappy, shitty piece of corporate real estate? Just fucking sell it off. Except for they can't because the corporate real estate market sucks. So again, fuck those companies.
And this is going to be funny to say, but hey, business, I am actually not responsible for your poor decisions as
Yeah,
a business.
yeah. You guys bought shitty real estate that now you have to sit on because you're either in a lease or you bought the office. That sucks for you, man.
All right. What do you say we enter into the
Am
submitted
I
stories?
the asshole?
I'm excited for this week's Am I the Asshole? Last week's was hilarious. I'm hoping that it's along the same guidelines.
All right. We have a title here. Help with
Oh, you're
interview
reading it.
and experience. Hell yeah, I'll read it.
Fuck yeah. All right.
I'm a 35-year-old who got my start in marketing after college. After a number of really shitty experiences, a health scare, and just not moving up quick enough, I took a break from corporate life and started exploring different careers. I
Let's
landed a
hope it
role.
wasn't like, oh, sorry. I was going to say, like, I don't know, health. Is this the same person that was talking about their boss that fucking diagnosed them as not having cancer and
Yeah,
then
really.
actually had cancer?
Oh my God. I landed a role on the product team as an engineer for a small startup, and I fell in love with the job. After the first year, I was promoted to product manager. The product was quite niche, a survey solution for recognizing traffic patterns for city planning. That sounds like the most boring. I hope it wasn't like a SaaS company because there's no way they were selling that to anybody.
This guy watches missionary porn. I'm just gonna go out and say it. There's no way you're like, oh yeah, man, I fell in love with my job. The way that light turned from red to green, and this program scanned it and sent it back to the city planning commission so that they could more readily plan for the roadways to be clear. Actually, the more that I talk about this, the more that I'm falling in love with it.
I was gonna say it sounds useful, but it sounds boring as shit.
You're driving
Sorry,
your kids
OP.
around. Hey, I'm the reason. I'm the reason why this traffic light here changes every 2.5 seconds. You'll never get stuck at this light more than 2.5 seconds. You understand that, son?
Oh my God. All right. In September of 2022.
Dad, I have cancer. No, I'm just kidding.
In September of 2022, the company could no longer weather the economy. I wonder fucking why they were selling. They're selling survey solutions for recognizing traffic patterns. I got laid off. Sorry. And it was a major gut punch, but they hooked me up with a lot of industry connections and it got me some interviews. All right. I'll give a clap for them for that. It sucks that you got laid off, but at least they hooked you up with something. But still fuck them. The first two fizzled out. So the interviews.
That's about right. Yeah.
The interviews. The first two fizzled out because of compensation issues and relocation, which is no biggie because I'm more interested in landing at the third company. Really large company and an awesome product, not to mention a salary that is $30K more than what I was making. Well, sorry, OP, you're getting roasted. But I really hope after your love for recognizing traffic patterns that the awesome product is something way cooler. It's like I made a product that scans.
We're figuring. Wait, no. Yeah, we're figuring out how to automate stop signs at this new company.
Anyway, sorry,
a traffic light.
You a little bit too hard, but you set yourself up for it, buddy. So I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting on a decision for the third, but I think I may have blew it. The screening interview went great. The second interview was with part of the product team, and they put me through the gauntlet of questions, but I think I did a great job. The last interview is with the product team and the product marketing director. I mean, Sounds like you did a good job on that second one. If they brought you back for a third one, they don't want to. The product marketing director is probably an expensive person to have in a meeting.
Does it say if
so-
it's a bigger company? Is this another?
Yeah,
Is he moving from?
he said it's a really large company, awesome product, and 30K
okay.
more salary than what he was making.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So meeting with product team, product marketing director. The interview went great, but the marketing director brought up concerns about my experience. She admitted that my technical knowledge and qualifications were great, but she said she was concerned with my years of experience and cited that experience can't be taught in senior positions like this, citing the listing.
Oh my god!
12 to 15 years of experience. Jesus Christ. I'll finish it off before I.
This is the product marketing director saying this.
Yes, this is the product.
Dude, fucking all right. I'm sorry if you're in marketing, but like, come on, man, really?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Continue the joke.
I told her that I understood her point, but respectfully disagreed, and told her the story of my career journey. Good move. Good move. Changed the conversation there to something else. We moved off the topic pretty quickly and the interview ended. I asked for an update and got a message from the recruiter that said the executive panel found you to be a strong candidate, but there were concerns about your lack of experience. They expect to make a decision the second or third week of March. Hang tight.
Dude, see, this is what companies do now. They just fucking push decisions off forever. And then you're like, all right, well, then I'm not interested. And they're like, okay, well, that's cool because we're just going to promote the museum director to
Oh, God.
to the product, head of product.
I wrote an email back basically requesting that they make a decision sooner and that if my experience was a concern, why wouldn't they have brought it up sooner?
Fair
Question, maybe a bit aggressive, but I'm here for it.
What's going on in this world of surveying traffic?
Yeah, really.
That's like hard pressed. Like we gotta sit on this one for 2 weeks, man.
We don't know that they're going back into traffic survey. The recruiter,
it's a dog eat dog world.
Yeah, here in the traffic surveying industry. The recruiter called me yesterday and I really thought it was going to be the official offer or a rejection, but he just called to say that if I wanted a shot at getting the job, I should apologize to the director of product marketing. Dude, fuck that. What
a recruiter thing to say. He's like playing middleman like a drug dealer. He's like, dude, we got to drive all the way into the city to meet this guy. It's the only way he's going to do the deal. You got to apologize. Jesus. You got to respect that person's authority.
Dude, fuck that.
You got to get in there and you got to suck her dick, man. You got to get down and suck her dick. You understand?
It kind of sounds like that's this person wanted. Jesus Christ. I said I wasn't comfortable doing that, and that's where we left off. Am I the asshole for not apologizing? No. Fuck that.
All right, now wait.
Dude, there's so many problems just right off the rip. Fuck this place. Be thankful that this happened. You got to pull the curtain back.
You got to lift up the skirt.
Oh God. You got to see firsthand that if you went to this place
and see the dick.
If these concerns weren't brought up but they're sitting in the back of this, presumably somebody that would either be your peer or possibly, at a higher echelon than you, this was going to turn into a shit show for you.
Yeah. I just... All right. Three things right off of the jump from me. One, experience for a role, like 12 to 15 years experience, it becomes irrelevant at a certain point in today's environment because there are I'm learning how to code right now, and there are software languages that are completely obsolete, and that's just the nature of it.
Oh, dude, my favorite is those things that ask for 10 years of experience in a language that's only existed for 2. Those are my fucking favorite. And the inventor of the language will like tweet back at it or comment on it and be like,
I mean,
I
like, I have
invented
his.
this and it's only been out for 2 years. I only
Yeah.
have 2 years of experience. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
They're like, well, we're talking about the person that invented you.
So
Have
you
they
want
talked to your
mother?
mom?
You want my
Have they
mother to
talked to your
apply?
mom for 15 years? That's who we're looking for. Like, backpedal. And then the second thing is that I think experience, they mentioned something about how experience can't be taught, but in all reality, experience definitely can be taught, because what happens is the knowledge transfer from, like, I'm a manager and I'm managing somebody, but I worked my way up to that manager position. I'm going to tell that person things that I needed to do to get to where I am today, so they don't have to figure that out on their own. You know what I mean? Like, I'm ramming a square peg into a round hole, but as soon as I get it round, I teach the person below me how to make that peg round and then push it into the hole. Ooh, that sounded dirty. But that's the nature of it. That like the nature of a good organization is that there should be a knowledge transfer that trickles
Oh
down,
yeah,
so
it
that.
sounds like this place has terrible onboarding. Like if they're expecting you to come in and like know everything about everything, like
And the third thing is the way that we talk about experience. How do you quantify experience? Because I can be in the, like, if I could be in the marketing industry, for instance, the marketing industry that we know, that we're so graciously, fond of on this podcast. I feel really bad. I actually do have a lot of friends in marketing. I love them to death, and they do, and it is a difficult job, and they do, amazing things. But I could have 15 years in marketing, sales, HR, whatever the job is, and I could just have, like, my 15 years is different than someone else's 5 years is different than someone else's 10 years,
yeah,
depending
it's
on
more
what
of a
organization you're a
quality.
part of.
Like
Yeah.
quality experience is a lot different. You could sit in the same role for
And
10 years and not learn anything.
if
Uh
you're talking, this is the thing. Yeah, that's my point too, is like, if you're talking about, like, I am in I can get my certification in Scrum, or in project management. There are project management certifications that you can get. It's black and white. You either have the certification or you don't have the certification. But experience is something that there's no way to quantify experience. If you've been working in radio broadcast for 20 years, or marketing for 20 years, or sales for 20 years, they're vastly different depending on where you have been and what you have done. And at the micro level, it's like, individually, what have you done? Like, has somebody literally, have you been riding the parachute of someone else for the last 5 years? Are you the way, like, did you arise to your role that you currently have because you just got really, really lucky? And it happens a lot more frequently than people think. So I don't, when we talk about like 12 to 15 years, maybe 5 years, or 5 years, or like 7 years of experience. And I'd be curious to hear, I know we have talked about this before, but like, what business is saying about, or what the studies say about how much
oh, well, I can
experience
tell
is
you what the
actually needed.
study say.
Well, grace our ears.
Yeah, so there's actually this has been around for 35 years. So I don't even understand why this fallacy still exists that experience has anything to do with anything. There is a study, a very widely cited study. It's been proven over and over again, even by researchers that have tried to disprove it, that there's a law of diminishing returns with experience. Once you get past a certain point of experience, you actually get worse at your fucking job, dude. Like, and
Which
it's at
totally
like
makes sense.
years. It's at like 8 years of experience. And if you hold, if you are in the same organization for more than, it's like 2.5 or 3 years, that diminishing return actually accelerates. So this whole fallacy around experience, fuck that. it's a fallacy. It's exactly what it is. It's just like stupid people believing it's the same thing with like we have to work in an office. Like I sat here and worked in an office, so you have to sit here and work in an office. I had to climb the corporate ladder. I had to do 5 years in every single role to prove my experience. So you have to. Like it's just a fucking
Maybe,
stupid fallacy that these stupid people believe. And the companies that
maybe
you
it's just
see being super successful don't buy into that shit. It's a meritocracy and that's how it should be. End of rant.
and I'm going to add to this. Maybe it's just part of like the fear of aging. Like as you age, you're like, you look for ways to legitimize the way that you, or the reason why you stayed in the same position or stayed in the same job or stayed, doing the same thing
Well,
for
that probably
15
has
years. You can be like, to OP's point, you can be passionate about something. Like this guy was passionate about the product when he was working at that startup, even though it was like fucking ridiculously weird niche product. And I'm not going to make fun of you, man, if you jerk off to stoplights or whatever it is that it gets your jollies rocked. But this guy, I think this makes a really important point about business and about how we interact at work and how we move up the corporate ladder. There are a lot of people that as they grow in an organization organically, because it's like, hey, you've been in sales for 3 years or you've been in HR for 3 years. So now you've been sitting in that same chair. Let's give you a promotion to the next thing. And then that just happens again and again and again over 20, 30 years. That those people are then making the decisions and saying, well, you didn't have to do what I did, which was sitting in that chair for
so
30
dumb.
years or whatever. So they're
It's
equating
also,
it to
it's called the Peter principle of you just get promoted based on sitting in a role until you hit a level that
I was gonna
you
say.
can't you are completely inept, and then you just get fired. Like it's stupid. Some
Think
people
about the
should
analogy of like,
managers, dude. Like there is a skill set and personality required to be promoted to a
two
higher
people
level. Like
two
so
people learn how to tie shoes, right? Like my babysitter is the one who taught me how to tie my shoes.
that's hot.
Let's not read into this any further. She also asked me for some reason whether or not I like to be spanked. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
I'm on it, man. I'm on it.
In your life.
Well, she's the one who taught me how to tie my shoes. Actually, at the bus stop, she was like, "Hey, you are a fucking idiot. You got to learn how to tie your shoes." So she helped me tie my shoes, and I learned how to tie my shoes. Years later, obviously now, 20, 30, 40 years later, I still know how to tie my shoes. She still knows how to tie her shoes, I think. I don't think she has like dementia or anything like that. I would hope so, that she still knows. But in any event, she still knows how to tie her shoes. I know how to tie my shoes. It's not like one person can perfect it any more than it already is. Like you've mastered the skill, you already know how to do it, and you've taught me how to do it.
But can
even though I've been doing it,
your
even
shoelaces,
even though I've been doing it less than her, we're at the same level in terms of like experience, because
right.
I tie my shoes in the same amount of time I think it takes her to tie her shoes. I don't hang out with her that much now.
I would
because I have a
not.
wife and a house and shit. I don't really need her to pick me up from the bus stop anymore, unless I go on a cocaine binge or energy drink binge at work. Oh man, I feel so strongly about this subject because I think that there are a lot of people that are questioning like, oh, I'm good at this, but I need to just do it for 2 to 3 more years or something like that. And that I think that's a trait, or that's a belief that is formed as a result of the workplace of people like that director of product marketing making a decision, like a really nuanced decision, like, oh yeah, you need 10 years of experience or 12 years of experience. Like, why is it 12 to 15 years? Why not fucking 1,000 years?
Yeah, did they actually
Like,
do like an analysis of like, or did they just pull that shit out of thin air? Like, did they do an analysis of all of the people at that level in their whole company and be like, okay, they all have 12 to 15 years, so we want. I highly doubt that. Like, probably not.
I get it too. Soft skills can't be taught, blah, 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 blah. I get that mentality, but they
Yeah,
definitely can. It's
I
just
mean,
not.
soft
You
skills
can
have a
teach.
lot to do with your personality. You can go to a self-development course to be
Soft
better,
skills.
but like if you're
Soft
a
skills
dick,
can
you're gonna be a
1,000% be taught.
dick. Like when it
Yeah.
comes down to the pressures on you, your actual personality is gonna come out. Like, yeah, maybe in the day-to-day, you might be able to like not do some of the things that are natural to you, but when it comes down to it, there's a tight deadline. There like and you're a dickhead asshole manager, you're gonna just default to what your personality is, unfortunately, and that's being a dickhead asshole manager.
Oh, OP, you're not the asshole. And the company, that director of product marketing or whatever their title is, that person is
The asshole.
they're it would be way better for them to just say that you weren't a cultural fit. Like, that's way easier to defend than saying, oh yeah, well, your experience, you have all the technical skills, but your life, like, how do you measure life experience? Like,
It's just a number on a piece of paper, and that's all it is. If you blew the doors off all the other interviews and you're very technically sound and you answer all the questions detailed and you have a great strategy for where you want to move the product forward, assuming this was a product role, and they loved all those things, but the number is what's holding them up. That's pure insanity. And that company, if they continue down that road, is going to fail because so they just want somebody in there that's going to be Joe Schmo, middle of the road guy that has 12, 15 years experience versus, you're 35. So I'm assuming you have to be pretty damn close, right? If you're coming out of college, you're probably at 10, at least. So it's just like, it's so stupid. You're talking about 2 years of experience and you blew the doors off the other interview. So fuck them. That's really all I have to say about it. And I've been in your shoes. So blew the doors off all the technical interviews and then got somebody that didn't even
good that you're
interview
not
me.
at that organization though.
Yeah.
It's good that you didn't end up, like, let's say that you don't get the job, that they call you back in 2 weeks or whatever, 3 weeks, which is another thing, the ambiguity or ambiguity, ambiguity of you fucking, like, of actually extending a job offer. This is a blessing in disguise.
Yep. That's where I'll leave it off.
Yeah, you're not the asshole, and this is a blessing in disguise. Don't run away from that organization. Go to your local convenience store, grab a Monster, join the sales team at that one where that dude was doing cocaine and meth. You'll have a much better time. And I guarantee you'll fall in love with that profession. Or at least some of the aspects of it, specifically the drugs. If you have a not safe for work story from work, reach out to us at stories@workisnotsafe.com.
Want to know if you're the asshole? Send your ethical dilemma to aita@workisnotsafe.com or slide into our DMs on social, or you can use the form on our website, workisnotsafe.com.
Hey, we'll see you at happy hour and fuck Monday.